back at it again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So I have done universal basic income videos before, so I did one for 2023, so I might as well make another one for the year 2024. So universal basic income, pretty self-explanatory. Everyone gets a amount of money across the board, and you can spend it on however you want, whether that's housing, your mortgage or your rent, or on food and water, or whatever you want to spend it on, up to you. But pretty self-explanatory. UBI, everyone gets a amount, and it's equal across the board. So we're going to go through 3 different questions. 1, what do I think a good proposal would be? 2, how much that proposal would cost? And 3, how do you pay for that proposal? So my proposal is every American, every citizen over the age of 18, so 18 years of age and older, gets $1,000 per month. And since we have 12 months per year, that means you get $12,000 per year. So that's the proposal. That is answering question number 1, what proposal and how much each person gets. So 18 years of age and older, $1,000 a month. And since there are 12 months, you get $12,000 a year. So that answers question number 1, what is the proposal? Question number 2, how much does that proposal cost? So we're working with rough numbers here. In 2020, the U.S. Census Bureau counted 331.4 million people living in the U.S. and roughly 258. I used 260 million just for, the math to work out pretty decently. So 18 years of age and older, a 10% increase from how many million were 18 years of older in 2010. So the census is done every 10 years. So in 2030 will be the next census. But in the 2020 census, there was roughly 258, but I used 260 million as the number just to make the math work better. So roughly 260 million Americans over the age of 18, and everyone 18 years of age or older gets $12,000 a year, which means you get a total cost of roughly $3.1 trillion. So that is a large amount of money. That is trillion with a T. So yes, that is a large amount of money. But that answers the question number 2, how much does it cost? And last but not least, the question that I'm sure everyone is interested in knowing, how do you pay for it? Now, there are multiple ways about going about it, but I think the best way to do it is to consolidate spending across different programs. So as of right now, I'm not working with the exact numbers. I'm just working with rough numbers. So Social Security is about 1.39 trillion. That is according to the fiscal year 2024 U.S. federal budget. So you're looking at about 1.39, basically $1.4 trillion for Social Security. Medicare, you're looking at roughly $830 billion. This was from 2023, but you're basically looking at anywhere from 830 billion all the way up to 840 billion. So rough numbers on Medicare. Medicaid in 2022, US spent $805 billion on Medicaid. So you're looking at about 800 to 810 billion roughly on Medicaid. Last program I want to touch on is called SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Basically, what people know this as is food stamps. So this is a government program that spends roughly $120 billion. So that was from a couple years ago, 2022 numbers. So you're looking at a lot of different spending across different social safety net programs. So if you take the rough numbers from all these programs, you're looking at about 1.4 trillion in Social Security. You're looking at about 830 to 840 billion in Medicare spending, roughly 800 in Medicaid spending, and about 120 billion in food stamps or SNAP. So if you add those numbers up, 1.39 trillion plus 830 billion plus 800 plus 120 means you get a number $3,145 billion. Now remember, my proposal cost was roughly $3.1 trillion. So my proposal was everyone 18 and older gets $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. So that's question number 1. What is the proposal? Question number 2, how much does the proposal cost? And my proposal costs $3.1 trillion. And how do you pay for it? Well, we already spend it on different programs. So Social Security is kind of like a UBI for retirees. You obviously work your whole career, and then once you retire, you get Social Security. Medicare and Medicaid are health insurance for elderly and low-income individuals. So Medicare is caring for the elderly, and Medicaid is aiding low-income individuals. SNAP is food assistance, food stamps. So basically, all these programs are doing different things to help people. So Social Security, you're not working anymore, but you still need some money to live and retire. And Medicare and Medicaid is programs to assist in medical and health insurance. And SNAP is helping people buy food at the grocery store. So basically, all these proposals are trying to help people, but they're doing it in different areas. If you just consolidate the spending into one program, a universal basic income program, the benefits means that you could essentially either reduce poverty drastically or maybe even eliminate most of poverty altogether. So roughly the poverty line for an individual in the United States is anywhere from 12 to 15,000 per year. So with this proposal, and you get $12,000 a year, you're effectively raising the standard of living. You know, the poverty line is no longer 12 to 15,000. You drastically reshape what poverty is. Obviously, poverty is something that won't go away, but if you implement a UBI program that gives people $12,000 a year to essentially not go below the poverty line, then you're raising the standard of living while at the same time reducing poverty. And if you give people money, they're going to invest that money into the local economy. You know, you spend the money at the grocery store, you spend the money, you know, sending your kids to school, you send, you know, you go on vacation, you know, afford your mortgage or your rent or your car note or, you know, whatever you want to spend it on. If you give people money, they're going to ultimately reinvest that money back into the economy. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that we should definitely consider as a country because, you know, I answered all 3 important questions on my proposal. 1, what is the proposal? Page number 2. How much does that proposal cost? That is on page number 3. Page number 4 is how to pay for it. And ultimately, you just consolidate the spending. We're already spending trillions of dollars on different programs. You might as well just consolidate it and pool that money together. Effectively, you can reduce some bureaucracy. You can cut some yellow and red tape and just give people directly the money instead of, doing multiple different programs to try and achieve the same goal. And ultimately, it reduces poverty, which is a good thing, while also raising the standard of living. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it very much. This is just how I think. If this makes sense to all of you, then that's great. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, so that's what I think would be a great idea. But I don't know. Maybe UBI will be implemented in my lifetime, but probably not. Well, you never know. We'll see. But this is just my 2 cents. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Deuces.